Good evening and welcome to another episode of the award-winning American Music Show. I'm Carol Gaylor and I'm filling in for Billy Hancock, who has the night off. I am here tonight with Don Rouse of the Razz'm Jazz'm Band, and welcome.
Thank you. If you're award-winning, we'll fix that in a minute.
You will. Now, I heard you guys in warm-up. It's a pretty amazing band. I think everybody's going to be pretty excited to hear it. First of all, I guess maybe you could explain what your band plays, what kind of music, and how it evolved.
We call ourselves a skiffle band, and it's a band that the characteristic of it is the use of found or odd instruments. And you will see a washboard, a jug, and other accoutrements that you don't normally find in the chart of all the instruments in the symphony on the wall. You know that. So. Mm-hmm. So that's us, and there's a long history of that. It goes back, in the United States, it goes back over 100 years, couple hundred years. So.
Now, this was originally the Sunshine Skiffle Band, and then it evolved into this?
Yes. Most of the people in here played in the Sunshine Skiffle Band. This follows on the Sunshine Skiffle Band, a band that's was around since 1978, first performed at the Washington Folk Festival, and it was the Folk Festival people who had the idea of putting a band like this together to simulate the washboard jug bands of the 1920s and 1930s.
Very nice. Now, I did a little bit of reading before coming here today to make sure I had a little bit of information on the type of music you all play. And there were several different descriptions of this sort of music, and I wanted you to tell me if they're similar, different, primitive jazz, Dixieland, barrel house brawl, skiffle band.
Yeah, will you? Actually, what distinguishes a band like this is not the musical repertoire, but the instruments that are used in the band, the odd instruments, because the repertoire can be standard, anything that any other band plays. And in the 20s, they played hot jazz, they played folk. The country string band repertoire was what the Gus Cannon and the jug bands used. And that pretty much describes it.
And they started out like as street bands? Is that what a jug band typically was?
They did. They were local bands, rural bands, or some of them were put together just for recording in the studios.
Excellent. Well, since you have 8 people with you here today, actually I guess 8 including you, maybe you could introduce each person and tell us a little bit about what they play?
I will.
Let me get out of your way.
Yeah. Dick Parks, this is Mark Cox. This is Mark Cox, Dick Parks. Okay, yeah. No. Yeah. Well, Mark Cox is playing musical saw, and there he is. Dick Parks is our trumpet player and our maestro on the bandstand, and he made it himself, as we say. And Kathy Wrights is on string bass, and we have Tom Minty on mandolin, and we have Tom Layton on washboard, and Pete Hins on fiddle, and Marv Wrights on jug, reeds, and whatever else. That goes for most of the band, whatever else comes to mind, we play it. Yeah. So, Mark, I know you're a folk singer, guitar player. Whatever prompted you to pick up the saw?
Well, I moseyed into Jacques one night when the skiffle band was playing, and during one of the breaks, Bill Pitt, who was the saw player at the time, approached me at the bar and asked me if I wanted to learn how to play the saw because he was going to die. And I agreed. I believed him, yes, and he did, right on cue. The following week, he showed me a few licks on the saw during a break for about 20 minutes, and then he never came back, and I learned to play the saw sitting up on the stage.
Where did you find your saw?
I actually found the saw in a little tool store out in the bowels of an industrial park in Manassas, Virginia. I picked it up, and the clerk said, "You don't want that saw, it's a musical instrument." And I said, "Oh, really? how much do you want for it? And he said, $35. And I said, oh. He said, you can have it for 30. We just bought it as a joke. Yes, it's a Stradivarius. You can see it has a picture of a nude man playing the saw sitting on a rock, which you should never do, by the way.
That's enough, Mark. Yeah, Mark stays on the cutting edge of music. Dick Parks.
Yeah.
You lead a band.
Right now? I have a band, another offshoot of the Skiffle Band. It's a novelty band that plays pop tunes of the 30s and 40s, back to the 20s too. And I bought my horn on eBay.
Sir, Marv writes, you play jug. Jug, yeah. When did you pick that up? And for God's sake, why?
Well, in graduate school, I would get really bored studying. And so to alleviate the boredom, I picked up the jug and would play along with jug band records. And that's how I learned to play.
Great. Okay. Kathy writes on bass, you guys have a band, and it's called Buffalo Nickel, right?
That's right. We have the Buffalo Nickel Band, and some of the members are here with us too. And that band's been around for maybe 15 years now. We play more Western swing and have a little overlap with this band.
You two guys teach at Augusta?
And we teach at, my husband and I, Marv, teach at the Swing Week and Augusta Heritage Workshops every summer.
Thank you. Mr. Minty, Tom Minty.
Hey, Don.
You have a recording studio? You have a recording studio, you got a band. Tell us about both.
Well, I recorded this mess. Actually, Marv recorded it, and I finished it. And I believe they're going to tell you something about the recording after we get through playing. So
The name of your recording company?
Patuxent Music in Rockville.
And your
www.pxrc.com. And I also play some bluegrass music and other things. And so
and the name of your band?
my name of my band is Patuxent Partners.
Okay. I'm going to give it to Tom Layton. All right. Tom Layton, I have a question for you, and that is when, and you promised you were going to tell us this, you're a drummer, and what prompted you to pick up the washboard and play it?
My brothers and I used to attend bluegrass festivals on a regular basis, and all my brothers played stringed instruments. Of course, it's hard to bring a drum set with you to a bluegrass festival, so I got the inspiration from a guy. There was a band called the Star Spangled Washboard Band, and that's what gave me the inspiration to make my own. So.
Yeah. We used to have a washboard player with us, washboard Mike Radner, who's, when Tom first joined us and Mike was playing with us, he said, I know that guy. I heard him a long time ago. I think he may be the greatest washboard player in the world. That's what he said. Pete Hins on fiddle. And you played in Buffalo Nickel.
Thank you, Don. Yes, I joined Tom and Marv and Kathy in Buffalo Nickel. My first introduction to this kind of music was out in Western Maryland in a little bar, coal mining bar called Boney's off a college campus. And I was reluctant to stand up and play with them because I had never really improvised. And the owner shouted out, if you play, you get free beer. So many Wednesday nights and many free beers later, I finally learned how to improvise and sit in with people like this. And that's how I got my start.
That's terrific. Thanks a lot, guys and gals.
Very nice. That's a big band. So I have a question. Did you build that?
No, it's actually Sears catalog number 30628. I'm kidding.
He's kidding. You did build
I
it.
assembled it.
You assembled it. And what are the pieces on there?
Of course, you have pie pans on both sides. This is actually the end of a roll of decal material.
Actually, I should have you on this. Sorry.
This is the end of like a roll of decal material. You buy these huge rolls and they put these on the ends to be able to unroll it. This is the same thing. These are like telephone bells. These are like a Jamaican type of bell. Of course, your cowbell, woodblock, and so forth.
Very interesting.
Thanks.
Very nice. So you all were talking about your CD, which I have a copy of here. And this was recorded in your studio, correct?
Well, it was recorded in Marv's house and mixed and mastered in my studio.
Very nice. Recorded in your studio.
In my living room.
I think it all works.
We're actually a basement garage band. Yeah.
What is that?
Recorded in his garage. I'm kidding.
Very nice. Very nice. Yuppie version of a garage band, as Kathy said. There are 14 cuts on here, and obviously we don't have time to hear all of them today, but hopefully we'll squeeze in as many as possible. Real quick, do you want to tell us a little bit about the songs that you've chosen?
Oh, well, how about if I announce them just before we play?
That'd be fine.
That way I can think of it.
Okay.
I can't think of them now, but I'll think of them when we play them. Okay, but I got this cover from an 1884 piece of sheet music entitled The Village Band, not Bad Jazz, and Village Band. And that's our cover.
That's very nice. Any reason behind the selections that you have on this particular CD? Are any of them originals? Are they standards?
One of them is original. It's one that Mark Cox wrote called Angel Wings. We won't play that today, but it's very nice, and so we put it on there. And the only thing behind the others is that it's just a polyglot collection of stuff that we've played for the past 30 years. We just kept it in the repertoire for one reason or another.
Very good.
Most of it, however, is traditional jug band, wash band material.
Very nice. And there will be some information up on the screen if you'd like to purchase this CD. There'll be a website and also a phone number. And you guys probably want to play some music.
You bet.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
From the early 1920s, Coney Island Washboard Rondelay.
Island washboard she would play. She plays it on the boardwalk every day. Soap suds on the ground, pretty bubbles all around. Rub-a-dub-a-dub in her little tub. She loves that sound. Thimbles on her fingers make the noise as she plays it on the boardwalk for the boys. She could drag the hole right through the knees. A brand new pair of BVDs. Coney Island washboard roundelay. Sing it out. Coney Island washboard she would play. She plays it on the boardwalk every day. Soap suds on the ground, pretty bubbles all around. Rub-a-dub-a-dub, hit her little cup. She loves that sound. Cymbals on her fingers make the noise as she plays it on the boardwalk for the boys. She could drag a hole right through the knees, a brand new pair of PVDs. Coney Island washboard roundelay.
Well, what is it, you guys at Mama?
Mama don't know anything.
Oh, all right.
That's right. We got a strict mama.
1, 2, 1, go.
Mama don't allow no jug playing around here. Oh, Mama don't allow no jug playing around here. Well, Marvin don't care what Mama don't allow. Gonna play that jug any old how. Marvin Wright, playing the jug. Mama don't allow no fiddle playing around here. Mama don't allow no fiddle playing around here. Well, Pete don't care what Mama don't allow. Gonna play that fiddle any old how. See him playing on the fiddle. Don't allow no washboard playing around here. Mama don't allow no washboard playing around here. Well, Tom don't care what Mama don't allow. Gonna play that washboard any old how. Tom Layton studied washboard at Juilliard on a football scholarship. Mama don't allow no mandolin playing around here. Oh, Mama don't allow no mandolin playing around here. Well, Tom don't care what Mama don't allow. Gonna play his mandolin any old how. Tom Minty playing mandolin extraordinaire.